After Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, I was at a loss. I was not sure where this franchise would go next. We have seen Jason die multiple times now. He's always come back, and I knew he'd come back for this next one.
You can't kill me!
I just didn't know where they would take him, because in the end of Part 8, we see him just die as a boy again, and honestly, it wasn't the best ending. So then New Line Cinema gets a hold of Friday the 13th, and we get a film that is nothing like any other Friday the 13th movie that I have seen yet. The good stuff, it's there. This is arguably the most gory, bloody, just violent Friday the 13th movie that I have seen yet, and that's amazing. I know the MPAA and all that stuff was fucking with the films there for a minute. This one goes balls to the wall and just says,
Fuck you.
This movie's actually kind of hilarious.
You want me to cuff you? What makes you think you can? I got a gun. Fuck that. I got a gun.
That's about it. Jason Goes to Hell is probably the worst story-based Friday the 13th movie that is out there. It is just terrible. Nothing really makes sense. They add in a bunch of just random things, lore details, and ways that Jason can die that have not been seen before, so it doesn't really make sense why they're just throwing them in the 9th part of this series. But I gotta give credit to director Adam Marcus because, like I said, he tried something different. We've been seeing the same movie pretty much just over and over again for 8 films in a row. Now, let me tell you this. I knew nothing about this film before I watched it, and I thought the plot of this movie would be Jason in hell after Part 8, and he has to slay demons, fight monsters, and just kill things as he tries to escape hell. And maybe like the final boss would be Satan himself.
So you've got dopamine, right? That's the chemical that gets released in your brain whenever you do something pleasurable, like eating, sex, and that's just nature, right? Like rabbits and fish and shit, okay?
But no, that is not the plot at all. Jason Goes to Hell is a little misleading, just like Jason Takes Manhattan, because even though Jason does go to hell in the end, the whole film just takes place on Earth.
Oh, this fucking shit.
And it's really not Jason in the film. I can understand if you're a diehard Friday the 13th fan and you just love Jason, you're maybe a little upset with this one because Jason's really not in this movie. As far as characters go, they can all go to hell. There's only 3 that I kind of like. That first one being Officer Bish, that's played by Adam Marcus himself.
That son of a bitch broke my finger. Jesus.
And then, of course, there's Joey B. She runs this diner. She's also just hilarious, runs that place like it's the fucking Navy.
What the fuck is that?
It's Jessica's baby.
Get it the fuck out. This is a restaurant, not a fucking nursery.
And the last one, which I think many fans might like, is Creighton Duke.
That's my lady you're talking about.
Well, now, see, she is only your lady because she ain't had a taste of the Duke yet.
This guy is interesting, but we just don't get enough time with him because he's this bounty hunter guy who's trying to kill Jason. That's his only thing. He just wants to take Jason down. And yeah, sure, go ahead, buddy. But these 3 people that I've named, yeah, they're in the movie a lot, but they really aren't the main characters. The main characters are just kind of throwaways, in my opinion. So this Jason looks crazy. Moments that we do see him, I mean, his face is all messed up now more than we've ever seen it before. He is just hulking, mean, violent, like he's always been, but more in this film. I think, again, Kane Hodder does a fantastic job.
Blue, you're my
is
boy!
the Jason, in my opinion, and the films that I've been watching, he's done a great job of just portraying the character that all horror fans love and enjoy. This film kicks off like any other Friday the 13th movie. A woman named Elizabeth heads to Camp Crystal Lake, goes into a cabin, and Jason starts attacking. Don't ask me how Jason's alive again from Part 8. I have no clue. They don't explain it why, but who gives a fuck, right?
Listen to me. Stop asking questions. It's none of your concern.
They're going back and forth, and you just think it's run-of-the-mill Friday the 13th movie.
Then
She does an awesome somersault, and Jason just gets lit up and blown up by all of these FBI agents. We learn that Elizabeth is an FBI agent of her own, and this was a sting operation Jason killed. As Jason is being blown up, Creighton Duke is in the bushes watching this all go down. So then we get to the coroner station in this hospital, and we meet Phil the coroner. He is going to be doing the procedure, the autopsy, I don't know medical terms, guys, on Jason. As Phil the coroner is doing his thing, he gets this impulse to just eat Jason's heart.
I don't need it.
I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it!
I mean,
What the fuck?
this is where we learn it's this possession body swapping movie. Jason's soul takes over Phil the Corner. On the news, we see that this anchor is doing a package with Creighton Duke. Creighton Duke really sets up the plot of this film. He's saying that even though Jason's body's gone, that doesn't mean he's really dead.
What you think of as Jason is not Jason. That body he's wearing, that's just me. That boy knows how to dress.
Well, it turns out the workers at Joey B's diner were the ones watching this segment, and Creighton Duke sitting in a booth waiting for Diana Kimball. Well, it turns out Diana's dating the sheriff, and the sheriff doesn't like Creighton Duke talking to his girl.
Why don't you blow me, Chief? Right after your girlfriend there gets through.
And so he kind of picks him up, and he's like,
Last thing we need around here is some freako bounty hunter causing trouble. I want you out of this town, and I want you out now.
and then Creighton Duke's in the police station for pretty much like the whole movie. At the same diner, we meet Steven. Now, Steven's played by John D. LeMay, and Steven's whatever character. He's just kind of like this guy who's down on his luck. It turns out Diana was his mother-in-law, or going to be his mother-in-law, as he was dating Diana's daughter, Jessica. So that night, Steven's driving to Diana's house where he picks up 3 hitchhikers.
Where are we headed?
We're going to Camp Crystal Lake.
Planning on smoking a little dope, having a little premarital sex, and getting slaughtered?
Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on!
So they're all camping out for the night, just doing their thing, when Jason shows up. But it's really not Jason, it's Corner Phil, who Jason has pretty much possessed. And Corner Phil just fucks up their night completely. As Diana's ready to be going home for the night, another officer shows up out of the blue and is just talking to her about all the things that's been going on. As they're talking, it turns out he's actually got a little bit of action tonight, which he's excited about. Before he can get lucky, Jason comes out of fucking nowhere. Not really Jason though, and presumably just kills his girlfriend and takes this guy hostage. Now, this next scene is very strange. This next scene is something that I have not seen Jason do yet. He completely strips this officer naked. Kind of sexual, kind of violent thing that Jason's getting down to. I have no fucking idea. Maybe Jason likes that kind of stuff. Who cares? But he doesn't kill this officer. It turns out that Corner Phil's body,
Fuck that thing.
he wants a new, fresh body. So he takes this cop's.
I'm so fucking scared right now!
So as Diana is finally home, she decides to give her daughter a call. She calls up Jessica, and it turns out Jessica's actually dating hotshot Robert Campbell. This officer rolls in and he's ready to bust some ass, and he tries to kill her. He does actually kill her.
Fatality.
But the officer jumps out of the window, and Steven is kind of left there looking like he's the one who did this thing, because the sheriff, who is Diana's boyfriend, is like, what the fuck just happened? My girlfriend's dead and you're the one standing there, man. So Jessica finally returns home with her hotshot boyfriend, and they just kind of want to get their affairs in order with everything that just happened. I mean, her mom just died. She has this crazy ex running around saying that she's in trouble. So they drop off their kid with one of the diner workers. Meanwhile, Steven is being locked up. Steven's in one cell, Creighton Duke's in another. Steven needs answers, Creighton Duke has them. But to get those answers, Creighton Duke is going to break Steven's fingers.
Are you ready to pay?
Yes. Oh, fuck! Oh, jeez!
He keeps making Steven do this ritual over and over again, but Steven just keeps getting back for more because he wants to save the day. He eventually tells him pretty much the same thing he said earlier. Jason is still alive, he can possess bodies, and that the only way to kill him is to take this dagger and pierce his heart with it. If Jason is able to get to any of his living relatives, he will be reborn again. This is where I say the plot is just all over the place. First off, we have this weird love story between Jessica and Steven, which isn't hitting at all. It's just not good. Add on to that Jason can be reborn again through some magical process of infecting people with that tongue. So Steven needs to get out, right? And the only way he's gonna be able to get out is to take his buddy Officer Bish hostage, aim a gun at him and say, I'm getting the fuck out of here, which he does. At the diner, Joey B and her crew learn that Steven has escaped. Everyone thinks he's a psycho because they really don't believe that Jason's back. He was shown blowing up or literally having like special deals at the cafe for Jason's death. Well, Steven Steven sneaks in, says hi to his kid for a moment, but Joey B's son sees him there. Joey B's son is pretty cool. He kind of just like daps him up. He's like, hey, get the fuck out of here. Take my car. You're all good, dude. As Steven makes his way to the old Voorhees house, he finds Necronomicon. That's insane. I know the Necronomicon there's a lot of lore, a lot of history with that in the horror genre, with H.P. Lovecraft and just a bunch of stuff. But I think of Evil Dead, of course, and that made me think, is Jason a Deadite?
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
I don't know. Someone tell me in the comments. But he positions himself to get ready for what's going to go down. But Robert Campbell shows up because he's doing a package at the house. Prime time, got to make that money, got to get those views. And Robert Campbell's just the guy for the job. This is where we learn that Robert Campbell is just a piece of shit. You could have assumed that earlier, but he just is.
I stole Diana's body and I hid it here in the closet. And then I went home and fucked her daughter.
Hi, thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
And the officer who is really Jason shows up and fucks his night up.
Good job, man.
But again, Jason needs to take a new body, a fresher body, one that will prove right for Jason's reborn to happen. So he takes Robert Campbell, legendary hotshot news reporter, because hell yeah. And then we see this officer die in an awesome grisly way. I mean, his face starts melting, he starts just turning into a blob. It's really cool. The special effects in this film are amazing, arguably the best. I know Tom Savini did the original, but the ones in this one, top notch. So Robert tries to kill Jessica, and before he's able to do that, Steven comes in with that Letterman jacket that he's rocking and takes Jessica out of there. He thinks that they're gonna be good because Jessica kind of makes it seem that way. She has no clue what the fuck is happening. As they're driving down the road, she makes him believe that she's warming up to him and all that, and she totally just kicks his ass out of the car and drives away. She heads to the police station, tells the sheriff, tells all the boys there that, yeah, Steven is fucking nuts and you should go get him. He's on the road. So the Robert Campbell, Jason Voorhees thing shows up to the police station and just starts creating chaos wherever he sees. About to take Jessica, about to be reborn again, all that, before Steven can come in and save the day again. They and a bunch of other police officers light this guy's ass up, but it is Jason Voorhees, and he gets up again and just fucks everything up in sight. Like I've been saying, the carnage in this film is real, it is damaging, and it's fucking awesome. Also, Creighton Duke is finally in the mix again, and he escapes the police precinct. Back at Joey B's diner, we get probably the best sequence of events that this film has to offer. First, they're like, Steven, you're not getting in here. Jessica too, if you're aligned with him. We're protecting this baby. And then Jason gets in. It is so fucking sick. This scene is awesome. The special effects are top notch again. The kills are perfect, and everybody gets brutally murdered pretty much, except for Jessica and Steven. If you don't watch this film, if you've never seen this film, at least watch this scene on YouTube because it is that good. Creighton Duke has the child. He has stolen the child and returned to the Voorhees home. He tells Jessica to come there alone, and she does. They have the conversation about the dagger, which you gotta take this and kill Jason with, or it's too late. If he gets you or he gets the child, he'll be reborn. Steven then arrives too, and this is pretty much the last final leg of this film. During this battle, a lot of things go on. First, Creighton Duke does get killed after Steven slices off its head. A little Jason symbiote, little fucking creature of the night, comes out of its body. Reminded me of The Thing a lot. Really cool special effects. He's able to be reborn actually, because in this house there was Diana's body that was brought. He sees that body and goes right up her skirt, and that is able to make Jason be Jason again. This brawl gets taken outside after some bodies get thrown out the window, and it looks like Steven's about to get it from Jason. I mean, he's just toying around with him, tossing him, throwing him, beating the shit out of him. But Jessica jumps into the picture and stabs him right in the heart with the dagger. This kills Jason as a bunch of little demon hands come out of the ground and pull him under. Jessica and Steven walk off into the sunset, and that's the film, right? Nope. Actually, the camera pans back down to the dirt, which only Jason's mask is left. And Freddy's glove comes out of it and takes him under it.
Let me handle this, bitch.
We hear the Freddy laugh. It was actually pretty cool to see this scene, I can't lie. I was like, holy shit, is that Freddy Krueger? And of course it is. Was Freddy vs. Jason supposed to be the next film in this franchise? Was that what they're kind of setting up to? I know Freddy vs. Jason came out a little bit later and Jason X is between those movies, but that's where the film leaves us. Jason's actually in hell now, like the title says. Jason X is the next film on the docket. It is the next film in the series. I think he goes to space in that movie, which would make zero sense given the context of the end of this one. But like in many other Friday the 13th movies, the end doesn't really matter too much because they can kind of do whatever the hell they want with the next one. Given everything that I've said about this movie, it tried something different at least. They tried to give the plot some life. They tried to give us something to look forward to. What would I give this thing? I don't know. I kind of like it more than the last one just for the fact that it is full of carnage, full of kills that we really do see. I definitely like it more than Part 7, but it's not a great film at all. Probably a solid 4. If you guys like this video and you guys want more horror content, consider giving me a subscribe. It would mean a lot. But that's really all I got. See you guys.
Give me some sugar, baby.